Town of East Fishkill Planning Board meeting will now come to order. Could I have a roll call?
John Eichman.
Steve Caswell.
Michael O'Brien.
Lori G.
Ed Miyoshi.
Craig Smith.
If everyone would join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I have to say, we don't usually have a crowd with us tonight, and I want to thank everybody for coming out. I know there's a few items on our agenda that probably folks are interested in. Because of the number of folks that are here, our Chief of Police has asked that we find a way to reschedule the section of our agenda for Copart, to find a bigger venue. And I know, folks, I apologize, but we actually have a room capacity and a building capacity here that we're exceeding right now. And so what we're going to do is we will find and we'll publicly publicize on our website and through our agendas, we will find a bigger room for next time so that we will absolutely, the next time you see this on one of our agendas, it will be held. But we're going to defer the Copart discussion for tonight. And I also just want to emphasize that the Copart discussion itself, just so you know right now, it's not yet reached a point where it can even be heard for public hearing. We don't have a complete application. There's still some critical pieces missing. So what you will hear when you come back for the next time we hear this item is that there's going to be some things we'll be asking the applicant to provide us. Our professionals will also be working with the applicant because there's a lot of information that I'm sure you want to know and we want to know to be able to consider this. But I do apologize. We are going to remove Copart from our agenda tonight. So. Thank you, and I'm sorry. I hope so.
Hi, how are you?
Wherever.
I know, that's bad.
I mean, seriously, we probably would not have gotten to Copart for another 3 years.
When you get up to speed, you'll have to sign it over there. And you can, I don't know if she'll let you sign ahead of time. You might go up and ask her.
It's only fitting that we actually have the right and full discussion.
I'm sorry.
Thanks for coming, Rick.
Okay. All right, folks, we're going to go ahead and move on with our agenda for this evening. So our first item is a presentation from our Hopewell Depot.
That's the applicant. He's the applicant.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you for inviting us here tonight. I was looking forward to a really nice big audience. You know, it's
I'm sorry
fun
about
to
that.
talk about the depot. So.
Again, my apologies. We don't like to have to make changes
You're on
like
TV.
that.
And Mike is going to help. He's going to handle the slide switching for me. Mike's been a great interface to us, to the town. So, I'm going to talk tonight a little bit about the depot, our restoration operation. Just as in a way of background.
Can I just have you? It's a little bit hard. Can you just pull your mic a
Let me
little
try getting a little closer to the mic. How's
bit better?
that?
Thank
Better?
you.
Yeah, we get the door closed.
Mike can figure out how to hit the next slide. We'll start with a little background. Depot Park is really a unique gift from the community to the community. We're all volunteer, so everything that we've done has really been contributions and volunteers, no professional activity. Corporation still plans to continue area development as well as the preservation of artifacts and a resource on county railroad history. We're really a resource that people can come and do research on. If you want to learn about the history of railroads, we have a huge amount of documentation and artifacts. So we're a resource there to help preserve history and train local youth and local people. We're looking for a shared vision of the park. We want to develop that park. We want a shared vision of how to best utilize that as this gift to the community. So that's one reason we're glad to be here tonight. So I'm going to go over quickly our accomplishments, show you what our future plans are, and then some opportunities that we've kind of thought about just to give you some thoughts. First, we restored the depot. We opened that building in 2012 from a burned out hulk to where it is now. Second thing we did, the next chart is built the tower with restrooms open to the public. The upstairs of the tower has got a nice display in it now of what was there up until about 1938. So that was our second operation. We opened that in 2016. This year, if you've been down to the trail, have been down to the depot, you've seen the pavilion we're putting up, 20 by 40 foot open pavilion for the public and for our use. So this will open a little later this year. In addition to the capital activities that I just showed you, we're converting from a restoration corporation to a museum through the New York State Regents. We've already got our provisional charter. We're going to be getting our full charter shortly. We've applied for it. So we can officially call ourselves now the Hopewell Depot Museum.
Great.
And in New York State, you can't call yourself a museum unless you're registered with the Regents. In addition, we are applying for recognition on the National Historic Registry. So that's kind of our accomplishments. That's what we've done so far in a quick setup. Now, where do we plan to go in the future? Well, we built the depot. We've put up the tower. The pavilion is going up now. And if you look at this area, you probably recognize this is Rich Carroll's yard and Philip Ortiz's area. It's very much of a commercial area right now. We also have two signals, one we're going to put here and one here. This is the rail trail, by the way, if you're not familiar with the area. There are signals that we've acquired, gifts from people. One is a semaphore, one a light signal. Hopefully we'll get one of those up this year. In addition, we have a set of rails that we're going to place in front of the depot just where the rails originally went when the trains were coming through there. We'll keep them embedded down below the ground so people don't trip over them, but they'll reflect what was there when the rails were there. We have two areas that we've got designated for rolling stock display, rail displays. Would love to get a caboose. We're looking for one now, or any other artifact that we could get that would be a good representation. Would love to get a steam engine. Wouldn't that be neat to have one there?
Yeah.
In addition, we have a crossing gate that the town gave to us. I think it came from up on Stormville Mountain somewhere. And we're going to restore that. We're going to put it up right by our parking lot. We promise we won't put it down and block the parking lot. That's still open. But it'll be a nice artifact to reflect what more railroad artifacts for us. The depot, if you've been to it, we have a lot of displays there of reflecting the history, including a real nice display of ice cutting. So that's really what our plans are. That's what we are thinking about right now. But again, we really want to make this a joint effort between ourselves and the community.
Great.
So next slide. Opportunities. What do we got for the community? The first thing is we're always going to ask for help, and I'll do this on the last slide as well. All the dollars we've received and all the work that we've done has been volunteers. We did get some help for our operational costs from the town in the last couple of years, but everything that we've built capital-wise and any operational cost help we get allows us to put more of our funding into the capital projects we've been doing. And again, we want to work together to make this a village square, a gathering place for the community. It's really a tourist attraction. There's no question we get about 200 visitors a month in the summer, about 90 a month in the winter. About 60% are from outside Southern Dutchess, about 27% are outside the Mid-Hudson Valley, and we get a number from all over the world and all over the country too that come through, learn a little bit about Dutchess County and about the railroads in Dutchess County. As you probably know, the Hudson Valley Greenway is working on the Maybrook Trail, which will run from Hopewell Junction down to Brewster and then down to Danbury. So that's going to bring another rail trail up to Hopewell Junction, Dutchess County. We'll be getting even more people up from the south, and we're right there. And one of the things that we've been thinking about, and I'll show you this on the next map, is possibly putting a link in from the rail trail to the behind the East Fishkill Recreation Park and then into the town. So, next slide, Mike. What we're thinking, and this is again just brainstorming and some ideas, and really we're hoping the county and the town, or the town at least, will work with us and decide how best we want to do it. But this is the rail trail, and it goes to right about here, and then this is the Maybrook line that will be the new rail trail. This is the recreational park, Fishkill Recreational Park. We could put a trail in from the Maybrook line into the recreational park and another one into town. That would allow people coming up from the south to come right into town and hopefully spend some money so we can, work with the businesses. In addition, this is 376 going north out of town. We could put a trail in from here past the depot and right on over to Red Wing Park to allow people to ride out to Red Wing Park. These are some of the things that we could think of to enhance this whole area, this depot park, as we like to call it. So those are some thoughts for you. Next slide. What do we need to continue to grow? We need support from Dutchess County and Metro North for land use. So far, we've been very lucky with that. Everybody's been very supportive. We need continued support from the town of East Fishkill for ideas and permits. Town of East Fishkill, by the way, has been great to us in helping us get done what we've done, and we really appreciate that. And then we need community members for volunteers. So that's really my presentation. That's where we are, that's what we've done, that's what we're looking for. And again, I can't stress enough that we want this to be a joint activity between the community and us to develop this park. So the last slide is one that we'll leave up for anybody who wants to help us. We're looking for volunteers. I think the biggest issue we have is really volunteers, because it's just hard today to get folks in. And we're open today on Saturdays and Sundays. We'd love to be open even more. We need more volunteers. Greeters and tour guides, fundraisers, event planning, web and social media support, maintenance support, and board members. And then contribute. It costs a fair amount of money to run that. You wouldn't believe the amount of toilet paper we go through a week. It's amazing. And we do get contributions in the restrooms from people. But we need funds to keep going. You can donate via PayPal through the HopewellDepot.org, our website, on the Give page, or you can mail donations to the Hopewell Depot Restoration Corporation, P.O. Box 1044, Hopewell Junction. Okay, that's my show. Any questions?
I'd like to make a point, and that is, Joe referenced the number of people that go to the depot, but those are just the people who go inside the depot and sign in. If you come any time of the night or day these days, there's always a crowd of people there. This is becoming our de facto town square where people meet and whatnot. So it really is it's just such an asset to the community Rich and Maureen Taylor and Celeste have just been, and Joe too, have just been phenomenal in doing this. It really is, as he started to say, it's a gift to the community from the community.
Any other questions?
I do. With some of the capital projects you have planned, do you have timing for those or goals for when you want to have some of those things completed? Or?
It depends on, really, it's very difficult to time things because we're so dependent on volunteers, on funding, and when it comes to things like the rail displays, like a caboose, we got to find one.
Right.
And then we've got to find a way to get it here. So no real timing. We'll just keep working year to year, and we'll make sure we do something every year.
That's great. That's great.
Okay?
It's a lovely area.
Thank
It's
you.
really, really impressive.
And thank you for having us here, and whenever you want us back, we'll be back.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay, the next item on our agenda is a public hearing and lead agency for Gasland East Fishkill site plan on Route 82. Pam, do we have what we need to open the public hearing? And Michelle, I know we don't have comment back from LaGrange. I don't think they've completed their 30-day comment period.
No, we heard from them, and we sent a packet to them. You did actually speak with someone from LaGrange on the phone, Pam. Did they? Before we sent it. Did they, oh, so they haven't looked at it at all? No, okay.
Okay, so I just want to make sure, we would not declare lead agency then until all the interested or involved have had a chance to respond, so.
Because they made
although
a
that's-
specific phone call to us.
Right, so although that's on our agenda for tonight, we're still okay to open the public hearing, we just can't close it until we're able to complete the lead agency declaration. Okay, so, and Pam, you said yes, we have everything to open the public hearing, so do I have a motion to open the public hearing? I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Do you have the right drawing? That would be weird.
Yes. You did, okay.
Well, thinking when we started doing the depot, overshoots, this is where you always go into your 30-second comment. Yeah, you know, so horse walks into the
Yeah, he's gonna be back. I work right after Labor Day. 20 hours a week, or 24 hours a week.
safer every day. Every day you're on your back. Let's do some Groucho.
Like 4 days.
He was just in for 4 days.
Crystal?
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, he's real good.
Technical assistance. 20 years old. I know. I have trouble with it all. You need a mouse.
You can't move the border over.
Did you have one, but
Michelle, do you want to maybe work on the drawing part and we can get
Pam.
started?
I'm gonna see about getting a mouse. I don't know. I think it's easier.
Maybe you could just zoom into page level for now.
Whoa.
The hell?
Bricksmore's not getting back to me.
Who?
Bricksmore.
Really?
I don't wanna seem desperate, you know?
Did he start yet, Merritt, on the other end?
And all the rain.
Chris, I'm surprised you got that by the Architectural Review Board. I mean, that looks terrible. Oh, wait, that's the existing building, sorry.
It was tough. It was 2 meetings with Architectural Review Board for that. Yes, I do. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Christopher Lapine with the Chazen Companies, representing the applicant Gasland Petroleum this evening. To give a brief overview of this project, Gasland Petroleum is proposing the redevelopment of a 1.33 acre site located at the intersection of Taconic and Route 82 in the northeast quadrant. The property is bound by the Taconic southbound ramp on its west side, Route 82 on its south side, and the Hortikill Creek on its north and eastern portions of the property. As you're aware, the property contains an existing 3,600 square foot building which served as both a gas station and auto repair shop in the past. The site is contaminated. It has 2 open spill numbers on it and undocumented closure of the tanks that were previously accompanying the gas station. The redevelopment of this property is taking place under Section 194-85, which allows the redevelopment of previously contaminated gas stations in the town of East Fishkill under the supervision of the DEC. The proposed project will involve the demolition of the existing building that's shown here on the easel with the replacement of a 2,000 square foot modern-day convenience store, which will include hardy board siding, stone on its facade, hardy board shingles, and crown molding throughout. That similar architecture will be carried over to the canopy of the gas station, which will contain 3 fuel pumps, which will have 6 pump loading locations. I'm sorry, 3 pumps and 6 fueling locations. The property will be served by 11 parking spaces. The water supply will be via a community public water supply well. There'll be an on-site wastewater treatment facility for wastewater. And the perimeter of the property will have a retaining wall here in this area to elevate the site above the existing floodplain that's there. Site access will be both a right turn and left turn in on the easternmost access point, and access out of the facility will be both a right turn and left turn out. The DOT has granted conceptual approval of what's shown up front here this evening, which also includes a queue lane of approximately 100 feet to allow left turns into the facility. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to turn it over to Phil Greeley with Mazer to discuss the traffic and what the design consisted of. And then I'm going to turn it over to Mike Nowicki with Ecological Solutions to talk about the Hortico Creek in the absence of the wetlands.